But they're very, very good. Yeah.
How many days?
In these extraordinary times, I'd like to wish you welcome to the June 9th meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals. First up is a reserved decision, appeal number 2021-049, 45 Washington Avenue. They've asked for an adjournment to July 28th due to Suffolk County Health Department approval.
So moved, Mr. Chairman. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, your turn.
Okay, we have public hearings. Appeal number 2022-015, 29 Lewis Street, Riverhead, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 600-105-2-37, RA40 zoning, for variances and/or relief from Town Code Chapter 301-11, where proposed front yard setback is 30.8 feet and the minimum required is 50 feet. Where proposed side yard setback is 7 feet and the minimum required is 25 feet. Where proposed combined side yard is 17 feet and the minimum required is 55 feet.
Who's to be heard? Step up to the mic. Just kindly raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, I do.
State your name and your address.
My name is Ryan Griffin, and my address is 245 Route 109, Suite D in West Babylon, New York.
You got the floor.
Okay, great. So yeah, we're trying to legalize a carport that was converted into living space. We're asking for the front yard to be minimized. We're asking for 19.2 feet. A side yard to be, we're asking 18 feet, and the side yard total aggregate 38 feet. The client just, there was an existing carport there, but he wanted to just make it extra living space because the house is so tiny. All the houses in that area seem to be of the same build. They have a carport, a little small house, and then there's a carport to the side. So he just decided to enclose it and try to add some bedroom space. He knows he's kind of asking for a decent amount for the aggregate side yard, but the lot is only 60 feet wide, and the total aggregate he needs is 55 feet. So it's kind of hard to meet that, and all the other requirements, he built it into the characteristic of the house. It's all the same roof line and the same front and side. It matches the house. He didn't go front or back. It just matched in this place of the carport.
This is next week. They gave me last week, so I don't know.
Was this a job that was started without a permit and they stopped work order?
Yeah, unfortunately, yes.
Okay, so, and the owner himself, are you the owner? or
No, I'm
you're-
not.
Are you in the law
I'm
firm?
acting as an agent for him. We did all the paperwork and stuff for
I
him.
see.
Yeah, I'm acting in favor of Charles Weinreb, and he owns Cobalt Holdings LLC.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next week is the Meadow Lane. Yes, which is.
Okay.
Anybody on Zoom?
Anybody else on this matter? Have you heard?
I don't think we have any questions.
No question? All right, respectfully, Mr. Chairman, I move that the appeal of Charles Weinrab, 29 Lewis Street, Riverhead, SCTM number 600-105-2-37, RA40 zoning for variances and/or relief from Chapter 301, Section 11, where proposed front yard setback is 30.8 feet and minimum required is 50 feet, where the proposed side yard setback is 7 feet and the minimum required is 25 feet, and where the proposed combined side yard setback is 17 feet and the minimum required is 55 feet, be approved in accordance with the applications and sketches with amendments thereto, if any, as filed with the building inspector.
I hear any motion.
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Whitmire.
Aye.
Mr. Gazzola.
Aye.
Mr. Bonds.
Aye.
Mr. Zawiski.
Aye.
And I vote aye. So your appeal has been granted. In about 2 weeks from now, you get the paperwork and carry on from then. Best of luck.
Thank you
Good
very
luck.
much, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Have a good night.
Amy.
Thank you so much, much appreciated.
You got the floor.
Okay, Appeal 2022-017, Dorothy Podless, 45 Meadow Lane, Riverhead, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 600-111-3-23, RA 40 zoning, for variances and/or relief from Town Code Chapter 301, Section 11, where proposed front yard setback is 40 feet and the minimum required is 50 feet. Where proposed rear yard setback is 40 feet and the minimum required is 60 feet. Where proposed side yard setbacks are 10 feet and 15 feet and minimum required are 25 feet and 30 feet. Where proposed surface coverage is 19.9% and maximum allowed is 15%. And Chapter 301, Section 9A1C, where proposed garage setback is 10 feet from side and rear property lines and the minimum required is 20 feet.
Let me just take a guess. You're here for that.
It's a big crowd of opposition.
Kindly raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
State your name and your address.
Peter Podless, 4 Lila Lane, Remsenburg. I'm the, I guess, agent for my mom, Dorothy Podless. She was 90 last month. She says hello to everybody. She was determined to come, but she just didn't feel too well, whatever. But she did give me, grief about not putting the garbage can in the right spot, but...
Mothers will do that.
Well,
but,
Peter, we'll see if you can go home with happy news for your mom.
Yeah, so honestly, I just kind of got caught in the middle because, when you look at, I went to Young and Young, and I pulled the original map of where they are, behind the Elks Club, and, there was over, the section they were in, they have like over 65 lots, so whatever, Friesen Waslow back in 1950, all these lots are under a half acre. So my mom and dad bought one in 1955.
For how much?
Yeah, I don't know. But then in 1958, 3 years later, they bought the lot right next to them. So, we come forward, I guess whatever, it's 1969, the code for Riverhead, they made this area like half-acre zoning, even though there's not a half-acre in there. But, so, we just assumed it was half-acre, then I guess, whatever, 2004, it got upzoned to 1 acre. So I would just say, oh, well, what's the, zoning? And they're like, oh, it's 1 acre. And I'm like, holy crap. I'm like, what happened, So I guess between, conversations, it's like pre-existing non-conforming, single and separate, but there was nothing in the code to allow for that. So my request to the building department was, well, can't I just have old residential C? Because it's half acre, just give me the old half acre zoning. They're like, no, we can't do that. So that's why I'm here, So then I had to put a house on the survey, even though it's not the house or the garage we're gonna do, but just to get old C, 40 front, 40, 10 and 15, and 10 for the accessory. And so I guess I'm just asking for the old zoning. That's all I'm asking for. The original zoning, I don't know what to say,
And then what are you gonna do with it?
Well, then for my son, who, we were gonna just build a small house for him.
But he's probably not ready yet.
He's 30, so I think he's
30?
Yeah.
Damn,
Yeah, I know.
that went fast. He's the one that played baseball?
Yeah.
Oh my God, he's 30. Okay.
Well, that was interesting too, that, like Young and Young, and I asked them, because, like Meadow Lane, because my parents said they had the last lot, and when you rent down the road, it was woods. So there's another whole section in the back. And, but I talked to someone at planning, and they said, well, it's not a legal subdivision. It's not a file map, but I'm like, when you look at that, what else can it be?
Yeah, well.
Was it
So,
filed in the
yeah,
county
so
clerk's office?
Well, I guess.
Was it in the county
I
clerk's
don't think
office?
so. It might be in the county clerk's office, but it.
No,
because
I asked, yeah, and they
Yeah,
couldn't find it.
not
no.
Yeah, because it would have a map number on it and when it was
Yeah,
recorded.
it's not, yeah. That was like the Wild West back then, everybody it was like the open
Well,
development.
those open lots, like
Yeah.
Lewin Hills.
Yep.
Well, they certainly did that with Main Street, too. Okay,
Yeah, but-
let's put a
but-
building up.
Yeah, but even though, like, if you look at all the sizes, you would think they'd say it's whatever, 15,000 square feet, we'll have zoning for this, but, they made it 20.
Well, you
But
really,
it-
Peter, what you'd have to do, if you really were interested, you go down the block and you look at every house, when it got a permit. Did it get a permit, or was it prior to zoning when it was adopted? So they were built without permits?
Right.
And they have letters of pre-existing non-conforming use. You can go up and down the block and do that all day.
Right,
But if it's not a filed map, it didn't vest in Res C. It
Correct.
wasn't vested. So
Right.
I see you drew a building envelope, and that's really what you should go for, is a building envelope, I think, instead of, but you put a house on, and that's okay.
well, well, I guess when talking to whoever in the building department, I was trying to say, is there any way legally just to give me old residential C on this lot? And they're like, we can't do that. And I said, well, that's the request I'm asking. So they said, just put a fictitious house on there and show the setbacks of old residential C, and then ask for that, and then you'll get.
Well, let's hope they look at that when you actually design the house and you bring it back and file for a
Well, yeah,
building
well,
permit.
I asked them that. I said, obviously, I'm not gonna be 10 or 15 feet off the lines. I said, it's gonna be smaller, but they said, well, we will, if you do get approval, that will get put in the file, that those setbacks will be with the lot forever.
I don't agree with that.
I don't know about that either.
So,
I don't know about that. But that's, take your chances. I mean, you have to draw a building permit within a year of a variance approval.
yeah, which we definitely will.
And we do allow, code allows for 2 extensions, so you would technically have 3 years to build a house.
Right,
And if your son is close, then don't worry about it. But
right.
if you think it's gonna go on longer than that, mark it on your calendar that if you're not doing anything and not have drawn a permit next year at this time, make sure you ask the board before it expires for an extension. Okay?
Correct, right,
So
okay.
if we approve it tonight, do it like 2 months before next year,
Next,
next
right.
June.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna file.
Just protect yourself, that's
Right.
all I'm giving you advice on today.
Yeah, so I guess my question is, legally, you can't say, we will give you old residential C on that lot? We can't do that.
You can give them the same, they can give you the same setbacks.
We can
Same
give you the
setbacks.
setbacks that you're
Residential
requesting.
C,
You're requesting setbacks,
Yeah.
but
Okay,
But they can't say that they restored the old zoning, no.
okay. Yeah, because the only thing is that old res C was 30%, I just proposed 19.9, which is 20%. That's the only real difference.
yeah, and that's fine if you build a house and make it a little smaller. So, anyway,
All right,
I don't have a problem with what you're doing. I would just hope you're gonna do it in the next 2 or 3 years. That's
oh,
all.
no, we definitely, yeah, we definitely.
Okay.
And your son lives next to his grandmother.
Yeah, I know.
That's a
He's-
big
he's-
choice.
Yeah, he's thinking about that.
Any of the members have any other questions?
I know Dorothy very well.
Leroy,
Yes,
do we need to have a survey with a house on it then, or?
you have
Oh, okay, I don't have one.
No, that was in the packet.
it.
That was-
I have it online if you'd like to see it.
No, that's all right. If you say it's there, that's good enough for me.
Okay.
yeah, that's-
Anyone in the audience have a problem with this?
Guy in the back,
Obviously not.
guy with no
So
hair.
let's have a reading.
Who's got it?
Okay, Mr. Chairman, with respect to appeal number 2022-017, I move that the appeal of Dorothy Podless, 45 Meadow Lane, Riverhead, Suffolk County Tax Map number 600-111-3-23, RA 40 zoning, for variances and/or relief from Town Code Chapter 301, Section 11, where proposed front yard setback is 40 foot and the minimum required is 50 foot, where proposed rear yard setback is 40 foot and the minimum required is 60 foot, where proposed side yard setbacks are 10 foot and 15 foot and the minimum required are 25 and 30 foot, where proposed surface coverage is 19.9% and maximum allowed is 15%, in Chapter 301, Section 9A1C, where proposed garage setback is 10 foot from side and rear property lines and the minimum required is 20 foot, be in accordance with the applications and sketches with the amendments thereto, if any, is filed with the building inspector.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Bonds?
Aye.
Mr. Gazillo?
Aye.
Mr. Whitmire?
Aye.
Mrs. Zawiski?
Aye.
And I vote aye. So your appeal's been granted, and you'll be getting the paperwork within the next 2 weeks,
Okay.
and good luck from there on.
Yeah, in the future, is the code gonna, like, because I kind of came in that
They amended it.
area, are you guys
They
gonna?
amended it already.
Oh, you did
They
amend
did
it?
it,
Oh, okay.
It's done, but I checked, I had Carissa before she came. And Carissa, the other secretary, she checked for me and I'm sorry, it was Heather. And it wouldn't have conformed anyway, so you still would have had the variance
come
under the
back,
new
okay.
small lot ordinance.
Oh, okay.
So, but it's been adopted.
Yeah, because like, like say Southampton, whatever, you kind of, they always go back. If it's single and separate back before zoning, then they basically give you the old zoning. So it makes it easier.
Depending what their vesting requirements are and how they're interpreted.
Yeah, well,
Just bring in the garbage bills.
Regards to the family.
Take
Bye,
care.
Peter, good
Okay.
seeing you.
Have the minutes of the last meeting been finished? They're all done? All done? Okay. Do I hear a motion to accept the minutes of the last
So
meetings?
moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So made.
All in favor?
Aye.
I want to thank the ladies for being here.
19
Nice
notes.
meeting. A lot of pressure.